A solo agency owner posted in early 2026 that one specific Claude Code skill cut his weekly client brief from 90 minutes to 3 minutes. Same client, same brief, same quality. 87 minutes of his Friday afternoon returned to him every single week on autopilot. Multiply that across the 8 clients he serves. 696 minutes recovered per week, about 11 and a half hours. At his hourly rate, that is roughly $2,000 a week of capacity that did not exist before he wrote the file. I have built more than 50 Claude Code skills in the last 18 months for this channel and for actual paid clients. Some of them moved nothing. Some of them paid for themselves in the first week. The difference between a skill file that sits unused and a skill file that pays you is not the prompt inside it. It is whether the file scores high on 4 specific dimensions and whether you ranked your portfolio against those dimensions before you spent the time building. By the end, you have a scoring sheet. You score your existing tasks against it. By next Saturday, you have the highest scoring skill running. 3 things in order. First, why most Claude Code skills people build do not pay them. The default mistake is building skills based on novelty or fun, not on income impact. Second, the 4-dimension scoring system, time saved per run, frequency, dollar value of the output, reach. Multiply them and you get the weekly dollar impact. Third, the top 10 ranked skills from my own portfolio with their actual weekly dollar impact plus the cheat code that multiplies the rest. The standard advice about Claude Code skills is built on the wrong unit of measurement. The advice says, build skills for tasks you do often. Build them for tasks that frustrate you. Build them for the busy work. The advice is well meant and it is wrong because frustration is not the same as income impact. Frustration measures how much you hate a task. Income impact measures how much money the task is worth across a year of your work. These are different numbers. A real example. A consultant builds her first skill file for inbox triage because email is the thing she hates. She runs it, it saves her 15 minutes a day. Across a working year, that is 65 hours. At her billed rate of $200 an hour, the inbox skill returns about $13,000 per year. The same consultant might never build a skill for her weekly client brief because the brief feels like real consulting work and she does not see it as something to automate. The brief takes 90 minutes per client, 8 clients, 12 hours a week. A skill that compresses each brief to 3 minutes returns over 590 hours a year or $118,000 of capacity. Same person, same year, 9 times the value. The frustration was inversely correlated with the income. Pick by income impact, not by frustration. The 4 dimensions of skill income impact. 1. Time saved per run. How many minutes does the skill save each time it executes the task? 2. Frequency. How many times per week does the skill actually run? 3. Dollar value of the output. What is the output worth to you or to your client in real dollars? 4. Reach. Does the skill work for one client or can the same file serve 50 clients with no extra work? Multiply these 4 numbers and you get the weekly dollar impact of the skill. The number ranges from $0 to several $1,000s per week per skill. Build the high-scoring ones first. Skip the low-scoring ones, walk the dimensions, then walk the top 10. Dimension 1. Time saved per run. Pick a task. Time yourself doing it manually. Time yourself running it through a skill file. The difference is what you saved. A real benchmark from Adventure PPC, a UK marketing agency that documented their build, is 90 minutes per weekly brief on the manual flow versus 3 minutes on the skill flow. 87 minutes saved per run. That is dimension 1 in real numbers. Dimension 2, frequency. How often does the task come up? Once a week, once a day, once a month, once per client. The agency above runs the brief skill weekly per client. 8 clients, 8 runs per week, 696 minutes per week. Dimension 3, dollar value of the output. A weekly client brief at the agency above is worth $3,000 per month per client or about $750 per week per client. The brief is what the client pays for. The skill frees the agency owner to take on more clients at the same price because each existing client now consumes 93% less of his time. Dimension 4. Reach. A skill file that serves only the consultant herself has a reach of 1. A skill file the consultant productizes and sells to 100 users at $300 a month has reach of 100 and a recurring revenue line. The cleanest documented example of skills sold as a productized service is from Greg Eisenberg, a writer and operator who has been documenting AI-assisted productized services since 2024. He runs a model where each skill is sold as a $3,000 to $5,000 a month retainer to a specific client type with 80% margins because the skill itself does the bulk of the work. Multiply the 4 dimensions and you get the weekly dollar impact. That number is your filter. Now the ranked top 10 from my own portfolio. The numbers are weekly dollar impact with sources documented in the show notes. Number 1, the weekly client brief, $750 to $20,000. Number 2, cold outreach and intake, $400 to $1,500. Number 3, invoice organizer, $100 to $400. Number 1, the weekly client brief skill, $750 to $20,000 per week. The agency benchmark above is the floor. The high end is for top-tier consulting firms whose weekly brief is worth $2,000 per client. Number 2, the cold outreach and client intake skill. AI Builder Club documented an indie freelancer who used this exact pattern to grow from $10,000 to $25,000 a month while compressing per client work from 8 days to 1 day. Number 3, the invoice organizer and receipt categorizer, lower per run dollar value than the brief but runs daily so the frequency catches up. Number 4, the weekly status and contract and invoice combo, $300 to $1,200 per week. All the recurring administrative output a consultant ships per client per week. Number 5, the meeting preparation skill, $250 to $700 per week, pulls notes, drafts agenda, lists open questions, lists decisions due. Number 6, the inbox triage skill, the skill the consultant from the misconception story built first, useful but not where the dollars are. Number 7, the recurring monthly report skill, lower frequency reduces the weekly number, but the time saved per run is large because reports are typically multi-hour tasks. Number 8, the weekly review and Friday review skill, lower dollar value because the output is for you, not a client. Number 9, the LinkedIn post and content batch skill, documented in real production by a marketer named Ruben Hassid, who runs his entire content distribution of 2 skill files he wrote himself. Number 10, the meta skill, also called the skill creator, $500 to $2,000+ per week, multiplicative. This is a skill file whose only job is to write other skill files for you. You describe a recurring task in regular sentences. The meta skill outputs a complete skill.md file you can run. Anthropic itself ships a version of this concept in their official documentation. The reason it ranks last on the list is that it is the cheat code. Its value compounds across the other 9 because it is what builds them. If you build only one of these 10 this Saturday, build number 1. The weekly client brief skill is the highest impact single skill in any consulting or service portfolio. 3 honest limits. The first limit, the dollar numbers are based on documented practitioners with specific client rates. Your numbers will differ. The 4 dimensions still hold. The absolute numbers do not. The second limit, many of the top 10 require a real client base before they pay. If you are pre-client, build the meta skill first because it compounds. Build a content batch skill second. Build the client intake skill third. The third limit, skill files do not replace the human relationship. The skill drafts the brief. The human ships it with the relationship intact. Treat the skill as the assistant. Do not treat it as the consultant. The Saturday plan, 1 hour, 1 sheet of paper, 1 scored portfolio, 1 winner picked. Step 1. List your recurring tasks. Down the left side of a sheet, write every recurring task you do that takes more than 10 minutes. Inbox, outreach, meeting prep, reports. Step 2. Score each task on the 4 dimensions. Time saved per run in minutes, frequency per week, dollar value of the output, reach on a 1 to 10 scale. Step 3. Multiply. For each row, multiply time saved per run by frequency by dollar value by reach divided by 10. Some rows will return 500 to several thousand. Some will return 10 or 20. Step 4. Pick one. Look at the highest scoring row, that is the skill you build first. Step 5. Open a fresh Claude conversation, type the task name, save it as a skill.md file. After Saturday, write a date 1 week from today on the calendar. That is when you check whether the skill ran every time you needed it and what the actual dollar impact was. The estimate becomes a measurement. If this reframed how you think about which skills to build, score your existing tasks this Saturday. Then comment rich below with one number, the weekly dollar impact of your highest scoring task. The starter scoring sheet plus the 10 skill.md templates that pair with this episode are in the link in the description. Subscribe and the next 4 episodes follow this same path. Mondays through Thursdays, 6:30 in the evening Eastern. The skill that pays you is not the most fun one to build. It is the one with the highest score on 4 specific numbers. Score your tasks Saturday. Build the highest scoring skill by next Saturday. I will see you Saturday.